When most adults think of math, they tend to think of a high school math class with lots of drills, repetitions, worksheets, and tests. The reality is, math starts much earlier. Math is starting from the time a child is born and starts exploring their own world. In preschool, the majority of math concepts and ideas are learned through play, like most things in preschool are learned and discovered. For the preschool age children, the most important thing is for them to be constantly discovering new things and learning from their environments. Obviously, you aren't going to sit down with flashcards with a 3-year-old and expect them to come away with a whole lot. This is the biggest thing to keep in mind developmentally when thinking about teaching math to preschoolers. It's easy to see why a parent might not think that their child's math skills would be affected by their hearing loss. What does listening have to do with math? However, there's a very strong tie for these preschoolers. They are making sense of their world through describing it and learning the words to describe it. And so the basis of math during these preschool years is language. Children with hearing loss are going to be behind in their language skills because they missed out on critical years of overhearing and making sense of the language used to describe the world around them. Let's take a look around the house to see what different categories of math learning we can find for a preschooler. An easy place for us to start with number sense and operation is in the kitchen. Let's say Mommy has a recipe and needs 5 potatoes. We can count the mini potatoes together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Uh-oh, that's 6 potatoes. Mommy only needs 5. What can we do to get 5 potatoes? If we take 1 potato away, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potatoes. We have 2 dogs. Which dog is bigger? Which dog is smaller? Measurement is all around us. Let's have some fun with patterns. There are many ways to look at patterns and relationships in the home. A fun one is always food. Blue, pink, blue, pink, blue. What color would come next? Can you guess? Do you want to make your own pattern? For geometry and spatial sense, we could go on a shape hunt around the home. I spy with my little eye a circle. Let's see what else we can find. I spy a triangle. Let's keep looking. Oh, and this record looks like a square. Shapes are all around us. There are lots of different strategies for math instruction for preschoolers. First of all, just building on the child's natural interest. Let's say if they're really obsessed with dinosaurs, why can't we count dinosaurs? Let's compare dinosaur sizes. Which one's bigger? Which one's smaller? We want to encourage inquiry and exploration. We want them to be natural learners and we want them to ask questions. And so that's something that should always be celebrated and explored with the child. You want to use planned activities and everyday experiences as natural vehicles for learning. Essentially, you want to find the math in the everyday and make it exciting for the child. It can be helpful to have a mathematically rich environment for the child to play in and for the child's everyday natural world. This just encourages math talk and math vocabulary development, but it doesn't mean you have to have all sorts of expensive manipulatives. Today I went around the house and found things that are in my everyday life that could be used to teach math to a preschooler. There are 10 math instruction terms that are especially important for preschool age learning. I'm going to try to describe them in as few words as possible. Representing. Everything in math is a representation of something else that can be used to solve a problem. Problem solving. The goal of every math problem is to find the answer. And the goal of math is to use it as a mechanism to learn math. Reasoning. There are patterns all around us. Children can use these patterns to understand their world and make predictions. Connecting. Children need to connect one idea to many contexts and understand that it's the same across contexts. We want children to use math in their everyday life, and this involves connecting the math skills that they learn to things in their everyday lives. Communication. Math talk is incredibly important. The basis of math, especially in preschool, is language. Unitizing. It's understanding that a whole can be made up of many parts. Decomposing and composing is essentially putting things together and taking things apart. Cardinality is a number word for a group of objects in a set. Subitizing is being able to look at a group of objects and instantly understand about how many are in that group. Finally, number conversion is knowing that if there are 10 objects and we rearrange them, it will not affect the number of objects that are present. For my personal reflection, preschoolers use play to understand their worlds, and they use play to understand math too. So for the preschoolers, math is fun, and as teachers, I think we need to keep it that way and keep them excited and engaged about math, especially with the readings we've had and what we know about how females are less likely to like math later and to think that they're bad at it. So I think that as teachers, it's our job to encourage the math talk, get them excited about math, get students excited about counting, understanding numbers, shapes, making sense of their world around them. And by doing this, we can encourage strong math learners and children who are excited about math in the future.